Hello, 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 guys. Welcome back to
What up?
All for One.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
It's been a little while. We had an episode. Was that last week? I guess it was more of like a mini-sode. It was short, sweet to the point, served its purpose, and now we're back and we're trying to get back in the groove of things with you guys, so that way, to keep expecting new stuff coming from us, because there's always new things coming. And
Share, like, and follow, please. And we thank you.
Yeah. So I'll let the girls kind of take lead and tell a little bit about what we're talking about today.
So today we're going to talk about our flaws, our weaknesses, our strengths, our advantages, and I think, I had an idea of just kind of naming like our top 5 of our insecurities and flaws, and then also 5 of our advantages, and then we can kind of discuss it as we go along.
Yeah. It is a great conversation to have, seeing that a lot of times these essential parts of our personalities and the essential parts of our morals and ethics and how we view the world affects how we move. It affects the kind of decisions we make. It affects the kind of people we attract. It affects the kind of situations we get ourselves into. And it kind of helps when you're kind of doing the introspection portion of things and figuring out why things happen, to kind of understand these core values of yourself. So we should probably start on a positive note, I would think.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our 5 strengths and advantages when it comes to us personally.
Yes.
Since Karen is doing homework, she can be the first one.
Okay.
So Karen, let's start with the first advantages. The things that you love about yourself.
Or the things that you think that help you.
Yeah.
Can we do 3?
Okay, let's do 3.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, girl.
Okay,
great.
so we're going to do 3.
Because we'll be here a minute. I have to think of 5.
Right. Well, I'm clearly an overthinker. Hello.
That's the good part?
No.
We're doing the good things.
No, it's gonna.
Oh, it's gonna salute back around.
It's gonna take me a minute to think because I'm an overthinker. Well, this can be this can be good and bad.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need with this one. I love hard.
Yeah,
That's good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And you got,
you got 2 more, girl.
2 more.
I thought we were doing 3.
Yeah, she only gave 1. Overthinker was not a trait. We just established that.
Right. Okay. 2 more. Perfect.
I'm very sweet. What's another one? I don't know, y'all.
You're beautiful. No, I'm just kidding. What about confident?
On certain days, I'm confident.
Okay. Well, there's your 3. MJ.
That's the 3?
You
really gonna let her fly with that last one?
We're gonna let her fly with it for now because she has extra homework. I'm gonna get to that later.
Okay, perfect. Because I don't want to hear no shit about the stuff that I
No,
did.
it's okay because we're gonna get to this later.
Good. The only one that I was able to come up with is I like my brain. She's pretty sexy. It's really about it. Oh no, I thought about this other one. I was in the shower. I like my my resilience. Very resilient. I get. I'm ready for you not to be that confused about this word, teacher.
No,
Educator of America.
look, for me to be a teacher,
I need for you to be
no,
not.
girl, I know what that word means.
Okay, girl.
You better not call me out on camera.
Because the face you gave me, Sam. I cannot. My resilience, yeah. I love that about me because I can take a hit emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. I hope know how to take a hit and bounce back.
I can't.
And make it look good.
I can't.
So I do admire that about myself because it's one of those. I'm that friend that they'll be struggling. You'll never know. I'm that friend. I'm gonna go with I'm confident on Sundays too. Perfect. So me and Carrie share one. Perfect. Yay.
I can help with y'all. Well, I was gonna say the same thing. That was actually gonna be one of mine. That I feel like I'm very confident a lot of times, most of the time. I would say that I'm a hustler. I've just been doing it for a long time. So like for me, when I struggle, I find ways to figure it out. That's kind of me. Like I like to stay above water, and I'm gonna continue to do that. I've been on my own at a very young age, so I just kind of got that. I can also say that I can be a very loving person. I can. I kind of play like the mother figure a lot of times, and it can get out of hand, but I still handle my business. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I not?
No. The girl definitely a hustler. She got to work around. If the original way don't work, she got to work around.
Period.
There's a plan A, B, C, all the way to Z.
That bitch got to work around.
We might not get plan A, honey, but we gonna make it there.
With the strengths that we have, what do you think it helps you to accomplish?
I think it helps accomplish structure. I think mentally you have to have those traits in order to have some type of structure in your life. It also helps build confidence. It helps build independence, and actually being comfortable in your transness.
Okay. That girl's standing in the pageant line waiting her turn for the judges to call her. Miss Draper.
Yes. Ms. Draper, what do you want?
Oh,
I just want to
my
be happy.
aspiration would be
To be happy.
I can't. Girl, that's what that girl looked like she was getting ready to give. That's exactly what she was getting ready to do. So, your positive traits, what do you think they help you to accomplish?
Well, I think I always come back.
No.
It might be a week, a month, 2 months, but they always come back. Are y'all one of them more serious?
I mean,
No,
that
listen,
was cute too.
Your response is your response however you want to put it.
Right.
We have to respect that.
So was that it?
What about you?
Oh, that was it for real.
That was for real.
Oh.
That was for real.
Oh, okay. I think that my traits lend to helping with change, adapting with change. The fact that my mind is so flexible and able to see things from several point of views all at the same time. And then also, again, being resilient in things that change or having to adjust or unexpected factors. They don't really shake me. They, if anything, they make me work harder.
Right.
And they kind of put my brain in overdrive. I can be a bit of an overthinker too. And so, yeah, I think that the traits that I have lend to help with that because life has changed. And that's one thing that's gonna be constant. That's the only, and it's not an actual quote, isn't it? Didn't somebody actually like say that? Like, isn't that like a thing?
What?
The only thing constant in life is change. I feel like that's an actual quote. Huh? Was that Pose? Child, so we got Jordan in the background. That girl probably be quiet. Because the girl's still here, technically. So she giving direction from the back. So apparently that was in Pose. In actuality, that's the only thing that's constant is change. And I have gotten really good with change. I have been dealing with change since I was a kid. I mean, with my parents separating, and it wasn't just like divorce, regular just divorce, and that's it. You see dad on weekends and everything like that. My mother got divorced and moved to an island. Completely left DC and completely moved back home to Virgin Islands, some 1,000 miles away from my dad. Before the divorce was even an opportunity to be final. I don't think the divorce was actually final when we moved. I think they were still technically married.
And now.
And so we picked up and we moved, and that was a huge change. I mean, we had been to the islands before, but I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge change, and then from that point on, I had been changing schools I've been to 14 different schools before graduating high school.
Oh, dang.
I change schools every year, sometimes twice a year. Change is not something I'm a stranger to. I'm actually very comfortable with change. I get bored with stuff being stagnant, so yeah, I think my traits kind of lend to that.
All right, so now we're gonna get into being a little uncomfortable and discussing our flaws.
Girl, that's not uncomfortable for me, girl.
Flaws and insecurities.
That I got a list for.
And, things we kind of deal with every day. So, Carrie, would you like to start first?
Wow, it's gotta go first.
Girl, you chose in the fucking middle.
So, I'll start. I would say for me, we're still doing 3 or 5?
3.
Okay, so 3. I would say my first one would be my body. Since the hormones, I've definitely gained weight, and it's a little uncomfortable. And I'm still trying to get used to this new body. So sometimes I have my insecurities when, clothes don't fit right, or, I feel like I don't look right, I don't feel feminine enough. Like, I go through a lot of that. I would say my second one would be being guarded. Still kind of, I'm not going to say holding on to the past, but it definitely, drastically affected me with the way I handle current situations. So I really definitely want to change those habits. My third one, I would say, I'm too aggressive. I'm too aggressive and too outspoken. Sometimes I can be overly outspoken, but that's just how I am a lot of times, and I'm still working on that as well.
Carrie. Okay. This is cute.
I can't.
No, sis, you the one that did do your homework home. These highlights are everything.
Thank you, girl. But you ain't do your homework either.
MJ. That's fine, 'cause I got my 3 on. You know I keep a flaw on deck. That's perfect. So, problem number 1.
She can list 5.
I can give you about 10. I was trying to negotiate 9, but the girl wouldn't let me do it.
But we're going to start with 3.
Okay, so perfect. So, problem number 1. I don't care for my body type. I really think this whole being curvy thing is overrated. Yeah, I think it's overrated. Mm-hmm. If I had it my way, I would be shaped like Jordan. I really would be. I love Jordan's body. I think I would much prefer to be able to buy something out of the cover of Vogue and rock it as is and look editorial wearing it, as opposed to having to work around, my thighs are too big for this, or my boobs are too big for this, or if I wear this, my boobs are going to lift up the shirt.
Right.
I hate having to work around that.
Right.
It's annoying.
It is.
And this girl wants to cuss me out now because she would live anything to have a stripper booty and some stripper titties, but I would trade this. If I had the option to trade it, I would trade it in for a different model. I would. My other flaw would be my constant need for control, or to feel like I'm in control. And wow, all y'all can go to fuck.
We're just agreeing with you.
All y'all can go to hell.
But we support you. And we understand.
We really understand, sis, and we have your back.
That's fine, girl, because
100%.
I'll stop, and then we'll just see how that flies. That's perfect. So
then you ain't gonna be MJ.
That's fine, girl. That's fine. We'll be the new and revamped MJ, the one that don't give a fuck about controlling that.
I ain't gonna be her best friend.
That's fine, girl. So I have a constant need for control, as you see these shady trannies will tell you. I don't like feeling like I don't have a handle on things, and I don't do well with gray areas. I like the clear cut of this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. Because I have, which I've mentioned in other episodes before, I have such a need for balance, or a thirst for balance.
Yeah.
And with balance, there's a yin yang. There's not really a gray area between yin and yang. There's light, dark, positive, negative.
Yes.
That's it, one or the other. And so, because of me having that school of thought, it is difficult to navigate a gray area. My third flaw would probably be my emotional retardation. Yeah, that's pretty much the best word for it.
Bitch, I knew.
I'm emotionally retarded. I don't really again, kind of ties into the whole gray area thing. I don't really navigate gray areas very well, and a lot of times the gray areas are colored in by emotion, and feelings, and passion, and things that you typically are not concrete concepts. That's what typically colors in gray areas, and I don't navigate those well. So I don't do feelings very well. I can give you facts and figures. I'll give you the fuck up a pie chart, percentages. You gonna know the information you need to know. How I feel about the information, you're gonna have to give me a week. I can't do it. Yeah, so those would be my flaws. So funny story. So y'all, I told you guys about the guy that I had started texting because he was watching, like, he followed the show and everything. He was following Jordan at first, and then started following the show.
Yeah.
And then started following me. He's been following me since before we started the show, and I didn't know he existed. We had been texting or whatever, and I'll be honest, he's really cool. I like him a lot. But we had some really deep conversations, and I don't have those with too many people, or at least too many men. I can count on one hand how many men I can have a really deep conversation with, and get lost track of time, and kind of say stuff to them that I would never say to no one else, or disclose about myself that I wouldn't disclose to anyone else. I don't know too many people like that. But it was just, he had one of those kind of energies that you just can help yourself sometimes. Like, you just knew it was really natural because without trying, it was just there. He was one of those people. It was really scary. To be completely honest, it's a really scary feeling for me, for someone who's not very in touch with emotion. It's a very scary feeling. I don't like it. Why I don't do well with gray areas? So he was upfront about it. So he gave me the decision of whether or not I would deal with it. But he was in a relationship, right? An open relationship, right?
Oh.
And he
Wait, there's more.
Right. So is in an open relationship for a few years now. And I had my typical MJ passion when he first told me. I said, "Oh, that's great. So we could be great platonic friends. Perfect. We don't have nothing else to talk about. It's great." I immediately tried to do what I normally would do, which would be to shut it down. That's my normal reaction and stuff like that, because I don't navigate that kind of stuff well. Yeah, you and whoever you're dating is okay with that, but for me, I don't know how to navigate that, because I'm automatically going to try to relate myself to the situation, and in that situation, I'm looking to fight a hoe.
You're immediately triggered.
I can become triggered. Yeah. So, even though they figured it out, I have not, and I tried to insert myself in that would be probably counterproductive. Anyway, so my initial reaction was to shut it down. That didn't last long at all. So we started talking more and more. We FaceTime. We talked. When else did we talk on the phone like that? But we texted like every day. I think there's one person we texted like every day. And I don't know. We just got closer, and certain platonic lines were crossed during the conversations. And every time it would happen, I would feel guilty about it. I really did. Even though, let him tell it, we weren't doing anything wrong. I mean, he hit to the point, he was like, I would put her on the phone. She really doesn't care.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like it didn't come off as one of those kind of things where he was just saying that to get his way and then change the story later. Right. I genuinely believe that they were in an open situation.
Right. It's just uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable for me. So, yeah, we got closer, and my anxiety kept going. It would cause my anxiety to go higher and higher the closer we got, because of the fact that I don't know how to maneuver this, because I know how I am. I can get sold on a vibe very easily.
Right.
If the vibe is very natural, and I didn't have to try very hard, especially if I don't have to try hard, because apparently a vibe in a conversation is hard as fuck these days. And so when it comes very natural, and you know all you do is kind of exist, and you can't, and you continue to gravitate no matter what. It's scary. It's scary, but it's an amazing feeling, and yeah. So that's where that direction went. All that to say, today was kind of like the climax point of that, and it has ended. I had to remove myself from that because I know how I am. I know that if I get way too attached to you,
right,
it's not gonna end well for me. It's not.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
It's not gonna end well for me, and I don't want to look like a fucking fool, being all bent out of shape behind a dude that I knew had a girlfriend, open relationship or not, knew had a girlfriend from Jump Street. I can't bring myself to do that. So
yes.
I had to remove myself from that, and even though I still have the utmost respect for him, and I think he's an amazing person, I have to draw that boundary for myself, and I don't like it. I really liked him, a lot. Like I haven't like somebody like that in a very long time. I don't know a lot. No, and so yeah, so that has come to an end. He will probably watch this because he watches all episodes, some of them multiple months.
And if you are watching, we thank you for following us. Please like, follow, and share.
And so I don't want. I mean, it's not like y'all know who he is anyway, but I don't want there to be kind of hatred or feel like he did something wrong, because they didn't do anything wrong. He was honest.
Yeah. And
he allowed me the room to make the decision myself, and he kept telling me through the whole situation that he would, like, you know, I would respect whatever boundary you put in place, I would respect it. So if that's what you don't want to do, that's fine, we don't have to do that. And he kept telling me that. So it's like, honestly, it probably could have worked, because he knew how to maneuver it. It was me. I can't maneuver that shit. I can't. As much logic as I try to put to it, it didn't start logically, so I can't feel logical about it.
Right.
And yeah, so that's why my need for control and gray area is the weak point, because this shit fucks me up.
All y'all know about him, though. The friend I got.
Oh yeah,
the one that was married, but he was legally separated. It was a lot going on. It really was, and I had to end that situation even though I didn't want to. So I get it. Karen.
All right.
Your 3 flaws.
Girl, I gave you plenty of time to think, girl.
Exactly.
Then I dragged her out, girl. I dragged her out.
I got
She
mine.
had time to think about it.
I got mine. Okay, as I stated earlier, I combined one of my flaws and advantages. I love hard. I'm gonna say all mine, and then I'm gonna try to do a little story, but but when y'all hear my flaws, y'all gonna understand why I'm probably not gonna have no story. But okay, the first one is I love hard. I find that as a disadvantage and a flaw and an advantage. I think the other one for reason. Yeah, that. Another one is I'm an overthinker. Sometimes I think too much. I hurt my own feelings. And another thing that's a flaw is I keep everything in. I'm very.
No, because I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
You do.
I'm very to myself. Now let me try to scoop up a little story for you.
Not scoop up.
Cause I ain't got no tea like that.
You gotta tell them hoes on that shit.
Yeah,
No, I didn't know.
when this recording come out, she gonna see me. Cause I'ma fight her.
She gonna fight me?
Good, cause she holding her tea.
Right.
She know everything.
I was trying to see what was going to happen.
And didn't tell us nothing.
I didn't want to jinx it.
Girl, I want to be on every step of the way, bitch. I want to feel everything you feel.
Girl, I didn't want to feel that because I did not feel good earlier today. That's why I slept so much. Because I was going through it earlier.
But you know you could.
We got ice cream.
But now that we got through that, I have a little homework for us.
Wait.
So this is what I wanted to surprise y'all with.
Nah, girl, because you said...
Wait, we have more stuff to talk about, don't we?
We do, but I want to bring this up as well.
Nah, girl.
That's why I said she was going to like the surprise. I don't like homework.
She seen what happened with the last homework she gave us to do.
Great.
And I ain't get it.
So, today, what I did is I got us some journals. Yes, I did. So,
Where's the bunny rabbit?
I know that
Y'all can't see it.
we go through a lot of stuff mentally. When I got some cute pens.
It's a
These
bunny
cute.
rabbit.
Those are so adorable.
kitty.
So, she gonna take the pink one. She
Ew.
gonna blue one. I'm still with
But
the purple.
I really feel like we need more structure in our life. And then sometimes, just like these situations, you know, like with MJ, she just told us her story with this guy. This is a moment for her to actually write it down. So she doesn't really have to talk
I
to
won't be
anybody.
writing this down.
She can have that moment where she can talk about it to herself. She can write it down, put her thoughts down on paper. And no, I'm just saying, I really think this is a good thing for us.
I'm really into it.
And I really think that we should also write down our flaws and advantages as well. And also, I have one more thing that I think would be amazing. I would like us to write down 3 short-term goals. Write it down, and then we're gonna recap in 2 months to see how far we came on those goals. I just want y'all to just write down some stuff. Really, goals, things you want to accomplish, all those things. Your insecurities, if you want to write it down. Your thoughts, if you're feeling something, just write it down. If you don't want to talk to anyone about it, I think it'll
Well,
be
I feel like there's a question. Right?
There is a question.
Okay, question.
I'm really confused. Because she's usually not with that mushy shit.
Yeah.
So what you
I normally depend on her for that.
So what you get? Notebooks with bunny rabbits and pens with kitty cats on it.
because I want it to be cute. That's why I got it.
Well, it's that. It's very that.
I just think, like, for myself mentally, prior to the group and all of us coming together, I was in a different place. And I think that with my sisters here, it actually brought out a lot of my insecurities and things that I went through mentally. And I just want us to go on this journey together because we all have those. It may be in a different way, but I feel like we can all come together and we can grow as a group. That's why I thought it was this idea.
I've never been good with journaling. I tried. I did. I mean, I did therapy as a kid. And so they always would try to get me to do journaling because of it. I'm horrible with journaling. I don't know why. I just, writing those kind of things out.
Okay, but yeah, it's a start. We can try to do something.
I'm gonna give it a shot. But yeah, I'm not good with journals. So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of this time of my planning.
Great.
Thank you for the gifts. Very
This is so sweet. It's so cute.
And what was the other topic? Oh yeah.
What you call it? I wanted to kind of discuss. Weren't we discussing what we were looking for in other people? What kind of traits
What
attract
kind of
us?
traits? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be romantic. I know last time we were talking from a romantic standpoint, but it doesn't have to be romantic. But what kind of traits do you think that you're attracted to? Because that definitely plays a role in the kind of people you have around you, kind of situations you end up in, the kind of things you end up doing that you may not actually plan to do. So, what kind of traits do you think attracts you to people?
Someone who knows how to communicate. Because that is definitely a struggle. When it comes to dating, relationships, friendships, whatever, I'm very big on communication. So if I don't have that, then I'm going to probably check out really quick. I need someone who knows how to take initiative. Who knows how to do things without me asking. Like, I want you to kind of step up when I'm falling somewhere. I need you to pick it up and, handle business. So I shouldn't have to ask you to do everything. And great sex. I said what I said.
Okay, and then so the second part of that question would then be, with those traits being things that attract you, what kind of positive situations do you think it puts you in?
To have those?
No. So you, like we were saying before, those traits that attract you put you in certain situations that will play out in life. Mm-hmm. What kind of positive situations do you think you have ended up in due to your attraction to those traits?
The problem is, it's hard to find those. So I haven't really experienced those recently.
So basically what she's admitting is
so what
she attracted to the wrong shit.
Exactly. No, what I'm telling you is that those are the things that I like. It's just hard to find all three of those things in one guy.
Well, it doesn't have to be all three. It could be
No.
one individual trait.
No.
I'm not.
I want all three, obviously.
So she definitely took this the romantic route. I'm not talking about just romance.
No, I'm saying in general.
For example, if a trait you
can I say my name?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. So,
but you can wait till I finish my sentence, though.
Can
The point of the question wasn't necessarily about the traits you find in a man.
Right.
Like, for example, if there's one trait, there has to be at least one trait you find in each of us that made you want to be friends. You know, well, not all of us possess all the traits you like.
But she had no
Oh, I
choice
thought
but
you
to
were
be
talking
my
about like
friend.
as far as dating.
No, I said beforehand it didn't have to be dating specifically.
Well, that's the one that I was thinking of at that point in time.
Well, then that's what I said. So you're taking this to the dating one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
That's why I said as far as dating.
Oh, well, then, okay, so then the opposite side of that question then would be, what are some negative experiences you think you have experienced due to those traits you're attracted to?
Or that a lot of guys create that image but really don't have the qualities.
What image is that?
So I feel like a lot of times when you meet guys, they do this thing to try to impress you, but then in actuality, when it comes to being in a relationship, they don't really have those traits. They make it sound good at the beginning, but then once they get into the relationship, they can't handle it.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Carrie, your turn. Go ahead, boo. I know you've been waiting. You've been itching to share your sis.
You the shady hoe. That's how you feel.
I can't.
Good, that's fine, girl. This light is blocked out. Whatever it is there.
Period.
And
So this bitch rushed. I just want to be clear. This hoe rushed me
And then cut you off,
and cut me the fuck off.
and then stuck.
And now the hoe stuck.
And no.
now, for real.
Or what are the three traits that attract you to people? It doesn't have to always only be romantic, but what are three things or traits that you think people have that attract you?
Intelligence. Their strength. Well, that's so broad. Let me never let down.
So broad.
It's so broad. So, educated. What was the first one? Educated?
The strength?
Yeah. I want them to be educated. Well, yeah. I'm attracted to a lot of smart people. I really am.
You know what? You're right, sis. You definitely like smart people.
First of all.
Now the ones you managed to date.
Now, the ones
No,
that
I've never dated anybody.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop. I'm listening, sis. This is your narrative. You tell your narrative.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sis. So you like smart people.
You have to be educated. You have to be, let me see, mentally strong. How about fire? Is it?
I'm thinking they live in the same community, sis. Mentally strong and educated. Typically,
No, like,
they live in the same duplex, door to
Like-
door to each other.
no, because you can be smart, but your mental health can be out.
So you're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe I misworded it, but. And my last one, a specific girl, like not too skinny, but not too big. So, well, I kind of like a built too, but not too built.
Why do holders say that shit? I like him, Bill. But
I
not
cannot.
too Bill. So I'm assuming they both went the dating route. Okay.
No, because intelligent wasn't, because bitch, you're smart and I'm gonna date you. So the first one applies to friends and
That's fine.
Relationship.
Me knowing my pussy are offended.
and then and the second one was for general because I need my friends to be receptive too because I'm not
all the way there.
But the last one was for the men.
The men's.
The men.
Okay. Okay. So, what kind of positive situations do you think that those attractions to those traits have brought you to?
Well, y'all done see some of the dudes that
not dated.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Y'all done see some of them.
Okay.
So sis, you can pretty much answer that question.
I can't, sis. This is your narrative. I cannot answer that question for you.
So what I'm attracted to is not what I bring home.
Oh.
I bring home something that's not. It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad. She said it's bad.
Like I said, look, it's bad.
I mean, it is.
But that answers the opposite question, the negative situations. I want to know what positive situations we got into.
Oh. None. Absolutely. Well, sis, I met you.
I was waiting for it. I just said nothing. Perfect. I'm ready to clock. Let me clock this hole. Perfect. I was waiting for you to say it's just the final answer.
No, you. I have my cousin and then Jordan and some other friends. I just don't like naming them.
And yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
That's my bookie.
I can't. I guess before I start mine, I would answer the question that was dropped in the comments.
He said, "Why do girls cheat?"
Why do girls cheat?
Why?
I can't relate because I never cheated. So
Well, that was
I don't know because I ain't never been in a relationship. So, but I know my heart wouldn't let me cheat. Well,
leave it at this.
my
Go ahead, MJ.
My heart wouldn't let me cheat.
I just have a conscience, and it's
Facts.
something that I just wouldn't do. I just don't believe in it.
Facts.
Karma is a bitch, and I ain't got time.
So, to answer the question, with other girls personally, I can't relate. That is not my narrative. Yeah, I'll leave you before I cheat. However, from a subjective standpoint, try to make sense of why a woman would cheat. I guess I don't know. Cheating doesn't have a gender. Infidelity doesn't have a gender. Disloyalty, dishonesty doesn't have a gender. It doesn't exist in anyone. And so, to answer that question, I guess women would cheat for any reason anyone would cheat, or they feel like they justify the reason for cheating. Of either feeling abandoned in a relationship, losing attraction, again, all the things I just named, disloyal, dishonest. These are all reasons or logic behind cheating. So, and the funny thing about cheating, as someone who is birth of a cheater, love you, Dad. I mean, it is. I don't have no shame in saying that. Me and him have these conversations all the time, one-on-one. I mean, he knows his past. I know his past, and they still don't know his past. They just know that he was. I mean, the man was married twice, and none of his kids are by the woman he was married to the longest. So on paper, the world could have figured that shit out. It's not rocket science. But as someone who is, because me and my dad are very close, and again, so we've had these conversations about what his mentality was when he did those kind of things, and we just, for long story short, we have a funny way of justifying things because the facts don't always match up with what you're feeling, and I think a lot of times that's why men or women cheat. But again, to go down a record book, that's not our narrative. I don't know what that is. Who that? Who's cheat?
Period.
Who her? She don't live here. I think she next door. We got some her mail over there. Traits that attract me to people. I don't know. I have always had a thing for introverts. And it's crazy because I'm such an extrovert. But, again, playing to the whole, my thing for balance. I've always been attracted to introverts, be it with friendships or with in relationships. Like, all my ex-boyfriends have all been introverts. And as much as the girls like to pin it that me and Carrie are the closest, Carrie is the introvert of the group. But I think we have a lot of the most deepest one-on-one conversations out of the rest of the girls that I talk to. I mean, me and Erica do too, but that's because we spend so much damn time together.
Oh my God.
We're always in each other's fucking face.
All day.
So I have conversations with Erica too, but honestly, I think I have more of my groundbreaking conversations with Carrie because it lends to such an opposite of what my mind is. So yeah, introverts definitely attract me. I love a balance of intellect and humor. To explain it, like there's this sweet spot that exists in people to where you could break into a conversation about the technicalities of shit and then they slide a dry joke in there in the middle of explaining that.
Right.
That shit to me is awesome. I love that. The fact that you could balance the two at the same time, I think that shit's amazing. And I love that in people.
I'm more human than intelligent.
I can't lie. I mean, the two separating existently, I love too. But there's this sweet. Well, let me say this: in Friends, the two separate existing separately is cool for me. Like you said, you have the humor thing a lot. Sometimes a lot of my intellectual conversations I can have with Erica. So in Friends, that exists separately, and that's fine. But when dating, like that's like a golden ticket for a dude. If you really want to get close to me, have that trait.
Right.
And it's not easily mimicked, so I'll know if you're faking it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely can tell if you're faking that. I think ambition
That's
is
a good one.
a huge thing for me because I hold myself to such a standard. And, you know, I do. Like, my biggest fear in life is to lead an ordinary life, just completely substandard. Just, that is like my biggest fear. For me to die and my name, none of my work is known, none of my thoughts are known.
And just being too comfortable.
Yeah, none of that is known. It doesn't have to be known by the world, but I want it to have affected change in somewhere, even if it's just a small little group of people, even if it's just one person. I want to have affected some sort of change somewhere to where I gave some positive energy back that I received. Because there's a lot that I received during my lifetime that got me through a lot of stuff. And so I want to be able to give that back, that same energy back into the world to where it keeps that cycle going. And it would completely destroy me to know that my life was completely stagnant and static and literally was no help to anyone. That would completely be completely disheartening. So I value ambition for that reason. Yeah, so the positive situations that's gotten me into, I've met some really amazing people. I've met some really great thinkers. I mean, the women in this room is a testament to that. I've met some really amazing thinkers and people who have survived some life situations that I couldn't even fathom. I mean, you imagine sometimes, and then when you meet people who have survived things that you wouldn't have fathomed of, it really opens your eyes, allows you to think of other perspectives and other things like that. So that's definitely a positive note of being attracted to those kind of traits, because it takes a diverse person to have those kind of traits in mind. Negative situations. Ciao. Girl. I don't know. The traits that I like, I'm gonna do negative situations from a dating standpoint. The traits that I like typically exist in an alpha male type. In the current climate, faking the alpha male thing has become an epidemic. To explain what I mean by that, it's really easy to look into the media, look into social media, and find an image of masculinity that attracts the majority. I don't want to say just women, but it attracts the majority. And then exuding that. It's like being a copycat. That's easy to do. That it's easy to see something and then imitate it.
Right.
what you don't find too often these days is that people, and for me specifically men, are not learning what it takes to actually be that alpha male, the work that comes with that, to then earn the perks that comes with it.
Yes.
Oh my God. Which kind of leads to the other part of the conversation that we wanted to have about that post, but I'll try to make that short.
No, we just don't talk about it. It's needed.
It is, but yeah. So there is that. It's just the alpha male camouflage. It's real. It's a real shit. It's some real shit. It real. Is. And because of that, again, mimicry they're able to mimic it, and so then a lot of times you fall into following that, and then you realize down the line, oh, it ain't what you thought it was.
Exactly. and that's why I brought that up earlier. Like, I feel like a lot of men, they want to be the man of the house, but they can't handle the responsibilities when it actually comes down to it.
So that leads to the last topic to cover. This actually from a post that I posted. Let me see if I find the post. It was from a post that I put up on Facebook, or I guess technically reposted it from a group. I don't know what group it was, but I saw it on my timeline and thought it was an interesting conversation that was being had. There was a few comments on it when I saw it. So I saw a post earlier questioning why the conversation is always instructing black men on how to treat black women and never lends to how black women should treat black men. Hashtag leave your 2 cents below. And literally, if you caught the question, leave your 2 cents in the comment, because I thought it was a really interesting conversation.
It is.
My response is the longest, so I'm gonna wait to give mine. I'm gonna let the other ladies go first. Yeah. But yeah, so the conversation is, and I have to admit, it is. The conversation does heavily lend to, oh, well, men don't do this, men don't do that. But you don't too often hear about, well, what a woman is not doing. Now, take that. I mean, you don't really hear that too. You don't hear it too much. I know why. But to be fair, can you start it over?
You don't hear it too often because it seems like we're the ones that have a habit of picking up men, but we're the men that's there to pick us up whenever we're going through stuff. Who's there to protect us? Who's there to handle business? Who's there to be our support system emotionally? And I just feel like we really don't get that in a lot of men.
Yeah, so the conversation does heavily lend to what men are not doing. Here is my rhetoric. My rhetoric has always been, it's just what I'm used to. This is what I've known. This is what I've become comfortable with. I'm not saying this is the law for everyone, but my rhetoric has been that the headship should come from the masculine energy. I'm going to be careful to say not come from the man, because everyone's relationship dynamic is different. But it should stem from the masculine energy. And so, what was it? Because there were some traits that I listed. So with masculine energy, I feel like some of the natural dynamic that comes with that is an affinity to lead or a leadership. I feel like the masculine energy has an affinity to protect, and then also to provide. And I don't mean just financially, but to be some sort of cache of that you can go to get whatever you're missing. Again, not financially. It can be emotionally, mentally. They're supposed to be able to fill in those gaps that you haven't quite figured out how to fill in yourself. That's how I feel about the dynamic. When those behaviors come naturally and they manifest on their own, the counterbalance to them happen naturally. So, if a man is doing, or a masculine energy is doing what they need to do as far as leading and protecting and providing, whoever they're with, in my experience and in my belief system, that natural counterbalance of nurture and support and respect is going to naturally come. You won't have to request it. You won't have to ask for it. You won't have to demand it. You won't have to bargain for it. You won't have none of that. It's going to come, because as a vetted alpha female, I just want someone to know. I just honestly, at the end of the day, want to be with someone that I know that if I had to drop the ball, or if I had to have a sick day, or if I had to took a step back for whatever reason,
Right.
that I had full confidence that this person that I'm with could pick that up and keep it going. So a lot of the times, like leading to the answer I gave before, that those traits that we look for in a masculine energy, like leadership, protection, providing, you don't really find them, at least not in a combination anymore.
Yeah.
You don't. You might find one, you might get fortunate and find two, but you don't really find them. And then you end up having to pick up the slack from that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like the masculine and the feminine energy in a coupling are designed to take two different roles. And if the masculine energy, which is supposed to be the headship, is not the catalyst for that change, then how are you going to expect then the feminine energy to pick up where they would fall in line?
Exactly.
There's just you're supposed to set that mold, and then we fall in line to that. If I'm setting the mold, then what the hell I need you for?
Because then at that point we struggle trying to balance that feminine and masculine energy because we don't have that masculine
Correct.
energy.
Whereas then now nurturing becomes I'm now being your mother.
Exactly.
And that's not what I'm here for.
Exactly.
And again, I think a lot of this lends to the fact that the facade of an alpha male is more popular than the actual alpha male nowadays. It's easier, it's convenient. We live in the popcorn society where, your videos are 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds is a long ass video. 60 seconds is a long ass video. That's basically a damn movie at this point.
Right.
And so that's the age we live in. And so it's easier to attain an image of being a stable masculine energy than to actually do the work to become a stable masculine energy. And
Right.
so when presented with, as black women, didn't say that, with black women being presented with that from a black man, yes, because we know what we have to do. Let's be clear. The majority of us are not ignorant to what we have to do or what we should be doing.
Not at all.
We're not ignorant to that. But we also have lived enough life to know that without certain key ingredients, we don't need to be perfect. I don't need you to be doing all this shit. No. But without certain key ingredients and at your foundation of your character, I'm going to end up having to fill in some gaps. And you can see that from Jump Street.
But the thing is, with women, it naturally happens.
Yeah,
like,
you won't have to take.
us.
You don't have to. It don't take guesswork
It does
or
not
rocket
whatsoever.
science to figure that out.
If we have that head of household, that masculine energy in our lives, as feminine beings, we're going to naturally adjust because we naturally have that nurturing trait. So we're going to follow behind you. But if we don't have that, we're basically balancing feminine and masculine energy. At that point, what's the point of you even being there?
True. In the response that I gave, I used some examples outside of dating because headship doesn't only exist in dating.
No.
Headship exists in familiar relationships. They exist in work relationships. But it all takes the same process.
It does.
My thing is, for example, if we use the logic in a family, the matriarchs and the patriarchs of a family, they get the respect, they get some extra privileges even, to say. And it's not because, they just got up and decided I'm a matriarch. It was the years of suffering, the struggling, the trial and error.
Yeah.
It was all the stuff they did to get to where they are now as a matriarch, to then give us those lessons, those pearls or a patriarch, I should say, as well, to give us those pearls of life. And because of all the stuff they had to endure to get to the level they are now, yes, there's a level of respect that comes with that.
It is.
Same thing in a work relationship. A lot of time in a completely fair work environment, because we can go into this shit ain't fair and that shit ain't fair, but in a fair work environment, you're oftentimes going to find the person who takes initiative, does more than their share of work, who are coming up with innovative ideas, who are, again, showing leadership qualities. They're the ones that typically get eyed for promotions or for those managerial positions or for being on a board or all the extra stuff, the stuff that comes with extra responsibility but extra perks. They're typically the ones that get eyed for it because of the fact that they've set a standard in their work to then lead a group of people.
Yeah, they built that brand.
They've built that brand. Same thing with the whole matriarch patriarch thing. So if that's the logic in that, I feel like that same logic should bleed over into
friendships
and relationships.
Exactly.
If you're meant to be a leadership, a headship energy, because again, my belief is, as a masculine energy, you should be the headship. Then the catalyst needs to start with you. It shouldn't be that, oh, well, I'm going to act a certain way until she do this, and then I'm going to show her this.
No, that's not how that works.
No, I'm not negotiating for you to do right. I'm not going to negotiate that. If this is how you choose to do, then it's fine. Then we figure out what doesn't work for each other. But I'm not negotiating with you on to be right. And the great part about this is not that we're asking them to do anything out the box, for us especially. I just want you to be the best version of yourself.
Period.
Which would entail all of those things. Because if you're the best version of yourself, then you challenge me to be the best version of myself. And then again, that flow naturally connects.
Exactly.
So we're not asking for anything out of the water. So again, I think that's the reason why that conversation a lot of time lends to, what black men can be doing better as opposed to black women, because of the fact that change should be starting with them. Again, not disputing the fact that both sides will have some work to do. Yes. Because I'm a hot mess.
We all have work to do.
I'm a disaster.
But we can't do it pointing fingers.
At all.
At this point, we all need to step up.
At all.
But
to be clear, it's the masculine energy that's demanding that respect.
I agree.
So if you're demanding that respect, I'm going to need you to give me a reason.
Exactly.
And not just because you're a man or a masculine energy.
Yeah, and I say it all the time. If you want me to submit, you have to show me that you're worth being submitted to.
Okay. Absolutely. All right, Carrie, because you had one more time over the answer, bitch.
Oh. Well, the only thing that I'm saying is that, if you want change, it has to work both ways.
Yeah,
you have to work together, and if you don't work together, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It has to be changed on both sides. It has to be compromised, even though you may not want to, but at the same time, you're going to have to make some adjustments on both sides in order for anything to work. Any type of friendship, relationship, whatever. It happens.
So this girl still ain't got out of giving her own response. I don't know who she trying to fool.
I mean, I don't know.
So you never had a conversation about black men not doing something?
The only thing I talk about with my friends, they baby daddy take care of their children.
I think it's because of the fact that she hasn't really had those experiences yet.
But she's still exposed to it. I mean, she is a black woman, as pale as this hoe sitting here looking.
Yeah.
She is a black woman.
No, she's definitely exposed.
So my thing is, you have been in the community. You're born into this community, so you see it. Even if I don't live it, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And if you've seen it, you have to have some kind of opinion. I know you do.
You think I have an opinion about everything?
You should.
You should.
I really
about
don't.
that, you should.
A lot of things I keep my mouth closed.
I would no, but keeping your mouth closed doesn't mean there's a lack of opinion there.
And a lot of things, it's gonna sound way worse than it really is. A lot of things I just don't care about. And they can tell y'all that I really do not give a shit.
She just don't give it thought. I'm not gonna say she don't care. She just doesn't give it thought.
I really just do not care about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't allow the room to explore the thought of their theory. Now, if it applies to her, that's something else.
Yeah.
But if it's a theory that don't really make no difference in her life, no, she's not gonna
Yeah.
really
If it doesn't affect her at that time, then no.
No, she's not gonna explore the concept.
Yeah.
But,
I agree.
we're gonna work on that, sister.
When I get a nigga.
Not when I get a nigga.
I got a confession.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, so I kind of went through a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really talked about it because it was kind of, well, no, it ain't that embarrassing. But
This shit's embarrassing.
no, I started
We're losing Carrie.
I started connecting with this guy,
The girl's out of here.
and I don't know, we have a really deep connection. We have really serious conversations a lot, and I started really liking him emotionally, but he had a girlfriend, and the struggle was is that even though he had a girlfriend and he loved her, it was like he was trying to figure out what to do at that time, because he felt like he loved her, but then at the same time he felt like he was obligated to be in this relationship with her because of the things that they've been through. And I guess he had to figure out, like, is this something that I really want to do because I want to be with her, or because I'm obligated to be with her because of what I did for her in the past, or what she's done for me in the past. And that's kind of what he struggled with, and I continued to be his friend, but then it kind of struggled a little bit because we started liking each other.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I didn't want to be, for one, I didn't want to look like a rebound, and then also at the same time, I didn't want to be that person to kind of convince him to break up with his girlfriend because I like him. You know what I'm saying? So I was more like, let me just listen to him. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just going to listen to you as a friend, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But don't expect any advice from me.
Gotcha.
Like, I couldn't do it, and that's the part that I struggle with.
It's
I'm
hard.
not walking up. But hey. But seriously, I had no influence in that whatsoever. Like, seriously, I did not. At all.
My girl said they're no longer together, so you know, prayer changes. I'm not playing with you.
The power of candles and sage. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I really am. Because I really didn't influence that at all whatsoever.
Girl, you didn't give up to the ancestors.
No, I didn't.
Promise.
I promise. I
Okay.
couldn't because he's a really good guy.
Okay, I believe you when
And
she
he's
said
very- he's
because
very
the girl,
special.
if the girl gave it to the ancestors, she'll tell you she sent it to the ancestors.
No, he's an amazing man. He really is.
That's how I feel about this guy. He really
He's
is
an amazing
guy.
and he dope as hell. And
He really is.
we can sit on the phone and have like hour conversations. And we text all the time. Like it's, he's a really good guy. And I wasn't gonna influence that situation.
Yep, same.
I
Same.
didn't.
Because I knew in the story, in the situation I gave, I knew we had talked about before that. I mean, he had some grievances about what was going on, but I mean that happens when you're dating someone for years, and so he had some grievances about his situation. But I wasn't any other. Let's be clear. Any other ain't shit bitch would have taken that and mold her way the fuck in. That information,
Yeah.
she would have created whatever she needed to create and to hit them weak spots that were exposed. Any other bitch would have figured that shit out and worked it out.
Girl, there was so many times I wanted to, girl.
Not that I wanted to.
I was like, you know what? Forget all this. That's mine. Let me claim that now.
Your
And let me
mama
just go
called you,
ahead.
girl.
I'm like, let me just go ahead and bring it. And
I
then I
think
was
she
like,
go back
you
in
know
the
what?
house.
And then I was like, you know what? Let me fall back a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't. I can't say I really wanted to. I didn't.
I came so close one time.
Because
because we were like having a deep conversation, and I was like, damn, why can't I find a man like this that's single?
Right.
And then I was like, now that this is in front of me, what do I do with this? And then at first I was like, you know what, fuck it, when I am on the phone with him, let's figure this out. And then the more we started talking, I was like, you know what, this isn't a good idea. I'm not gonna do that. I was like, I'm gonna let him figure it out on his own.
Yeah, for me it was immediate.
Confession.
Oh shit! Yes!
Come on, confession. It's somebody that I was talking to with a girlfriend,
Speak up.
and I was feeling attracted to him. Educated, working, own house,
Ooh.
own car,
Ooh,
stuff like that. You know, rare.
girl, a
Rare.
Rare.
And he told me up front he had a girlfriend. He like you, he gave me the option to continue. We continued.
That's how that works, huh?
That's how I started.
And yeah,
Oh, so it's still going. Is what you're saying?
I'm like, y'all, I didn't cut it off. And you know,
Oh,
What are
bitch,
y'all
you
currently-
dropping a name when we get off this camera. 'Cause
So
I
what are
don't-
y'all currently doing? Oh, I know who it is.
shut up. No. No,
I know who it
no, don't say nothing, please.
I know who it is. I'm not gonna say the name.
I will wait till we get off this camera. 'Cause
I know
if
who
I
it
think
is.
who it is, if I think it is who I think it is.
Yes, girl. You know.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, bitch, I need to know.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, girl. Bitch, I thought this was some real
Yeah,
tea.
because he never left.
He
He's out.
did.
No.
He
But you
did.
didn't cut that off.
Girl, he left for like a couple of weeks, girl. And then I walked in on her having a conversation with him. And I said, girl, who was that? Then she told me who it was.
I thought he was out the picture.
Girl, no, that was temporary.
Hold on. Who you talking about?
No, obviously not the same person because he's
Can't be. Because me and
That's-
him haven't talked since.
ever. Girl, tell her.
Who?
3 hours.
Excuse me?
Oh,
I know.
Oh.
No.
I'm talking about the same person.
No.
Y'all did not break that long.
Yes, we did.
Girl, yes, they have.
I thought it was like 3 weeks.
No, we haven't talked since.
Girl, no, that has been.
It's been that long?
Girl, since before I got here.
Yeah,
That was before I got here.
That was before she got here.
I thought you had a conversation with him like 2 months ago.
Girl,
No.
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But
listen. I ain't no home wrecker.
period.
Allegedly.
Ooh. Not allegedly.
Okay, she's not a home wrecker.
No, listen.
Thanks for watching.
Not that your mama gonna call in the middle of the show. Girl, that recorded and stopped and everything. Well, we gonna take that as our cue to wrap this up.
Yes.
Because my mama done ended up recording.
Yes. So we appreciate y'all watching.
We do. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. We do go back and watch the videos. We answer whatever questions. Shoot, it might even be a topic for our next conversation. So definitely interact with us. If you have questions or conversations that you want to have, we do have our email is watchall4one@gmail.com.
Yes.
Send your questions. I mean, we're definitely. I've actually been hoping you guys to send more questions because I've been writing the conversations out. Well, not conversations, but writing the topics that we converse about out. But I would really like to know what you guys want to hear about.
Yes.
Because
and y'all
that's
can
how we do
also
this.
inbox us.
Yeah,
on
inbox
Facebook
on the page
as well, and then as well as email us. We're also on Instagram and YouTube.
Absolutely. So we love y'all. Thanks for watching.